When I tell you that Joe Biden and the left have weaponized the government and they're going to use it against you and me, that matters. Welcome to Common Sense with Brian Christine. I'm here to talk about what matters, and I'm going to tell you why it matters. This week, the United States Senate passed something called the Inflation Reduction Act. Now, number one, no serious accounting group or oversight group really believes that this act is going to reduce inflation. Instead, people are predicting it's going to increase inflation, it's going to raise taxes on pretty much everyone, and it's going to increase the government deficit. But worse than that is that this act is going to increase the power and the reach of one of the most hated and feared government agencies, the Internal Revenue Service. As part of the Inflation Reduction Act, billions of dollars are going to be added to the budget of the IRS, and they're going to use part of that money to hire 87,000 new agents for the IRS. And why do you think the Democrats want almost 100,000 new IRS agents? That's because they're going to send them out to audit, to intimidate, and to squeeze citizens like you and me. Now, the liberals say, well, don't worry. You don't have to worry about these new agents. They're not going to be auditing anybody who makes less than $400,000 a year. That's a lie. They know it's a lie, but they continue to say it. The IRS's own data shows that in 2021, over half of the audits carried out were performed on individuals who earn less than $75,000 a year. And a recent study showed that the poorest Americans are 5 times more likely to be audited by the IRS than the wealthiest Americans. But why would the IRS audit and attack people who make less? Why not just go after the billionaires and the millionaires? Surely they've got more money, and it's got to be a better gig for the IRS to squeeze them versus just average Joe and Jane American. But if you think about it, the really, really rich, they have more money and more resources. They can hire expensive attorneys and accountants to fight the IRS. The average taxpayer doesn't have the resources to hire accountants and expensive lawyers like the rich do. It's a lot easier to go after average men and women, to bleed them, to squeeze them, and to intimidate them. What they're hoping is that we'll just give up and we won't fight. So it makes more sense from their standpoint to go after us. So whether we've done anything wrong or not on our tax returns, they're going to come after you and they're going to come after me. Now, don't think that won't happen. Remember Lois Lerner? She was an IRS agent back in the Obama administration, and she had to actually resign when it was found out and when it was shown that she was targeting religious and conservative groups through the IRS. They were auditing Christian groups, they were auditing Tea Party groups, they were going after conservatives. So it happened then, and don't think that it won't happen now. It will. So whether it's releasing an army of IRS agents to come after the average American just because they made a simple mistake on their tax returns, or whether it's having the Attorney General of the United States advise the FBI to investigate concerned parents just because they had the guts to stand up and confront woke teachers and boards of education in public meetings, or whether it's by forcing Americans to get a vaccination and put a medication in their body by threatening to fire them from their jobs. Think about that. Forcing people to get a vaccination that didn't prevent COVID and didn't prevent the spread of COVID, but the government was willing to threaten you with taking away your job and your right to earn an income just to further their agenda. The left is using the government like a stormtrooper to come after you and me. And the only way to stop, the only way to prevent this from happening, the only way to make change happen is for us to stand up, to fight, to be willing to push against them every bit as hard as they're willing to push against us. That's what we have to do, and I think that's common sense. Thanks for watching this video. Please share the video and share my website with your friends and your family. You can get a hold of me by reaching out to me through my website, www.brianchristine4alabama.com. Look for the next episode of Common Sense with Brian Christine, and I'll see you then.